Aktuelle Tiefe 130 Meter.
Alright, welcome everybody to another late night stream of mine. And you see, we are back to my long-term favorite U-boat. So, this is the submarine simulation where you slip into the role of a German submarine commander. And yeah, this game gives you the opportunity to do a complete campaign playthrough through the whole war in a wonderful open world. So you see, right at the moment, everything is a bit stressed and strained. The situation is, not perfectly relaxed, but I have put the game on pause. So let me give you a few words as an introduction, and then we're gonna dive into the situation like we left it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, when I did the last stream. So, the game is set into a wonderful, complete open world where you're just free to go everywhere. All the coastlines, all the seabeds, all everything is modeled. Not quite yet, but almost all over the world. So you could even sail to the Indian Ocean and only towards the Pacific somewhere here. The game has its limit. But it looks like that even Japan is modeled in the game, the Mediterranean anyway, and same for the other side of the Atlantic. Only thing is that I actually never went into the Pacific and never tried if it really works. So I wonder if you could sail around the world. But yeah, if you look at it, it looks kind of that the map stops here. At least the quadrants are not marked anymore any further than west of South America. However, this is a vast playground, open sandbox, and yeah, as I said, you can just go anywhere, but of course I would recommend that you better go where your seniors want you to go, so you get mission by mission in the game. And me particularly, I started this campaign in the port of Wilhelmshaven more than 3.5 years ago, on the eve of the Second World War in September 1939. And you see by now it's July 1943, And yeah, I have shared all the adventures that I have come through with you in this stream. And by the way, I'm also uploading it to YouTube. So you could even see the history there. Not the complete, but I started something like quite a while ago to actually also do the uploads to YouTube. And having started back then with Type 2, tiny submarine, I started to earn my merits in the North Sea and the close Atlantic. At one point, after France was occupied, I transferred to a new home port, La Rochelle, which gave me the opportunity to go deep into the Atlantic. By then, I was promoted to be captain of a Type 7, the kind of standard U-boat that you know from most of all the submarine simulations. We went into the center of the Atlantic, and finally headquarters gave us access to or control over the so-called milk cow supply submarines, which allowed us to refuel in the middle of the Atlantic and finally reach the western shores of the Atlantic. Having done the Operation Drumbeat successfully, same for the attack on Aruba, and then finally going back to Europe, and I transferred my home port to the port of Bergen. And since then we are going for the Arctic Convoys mission, and that's where I am right now. So we are doing patrol after patrol here in the Arctic Sea, chasing for convoys going from America and Great Britain to the Soviet Union, to support here Murmansk, Arkhangelsk, these ports being supplied. And it's becoming more and more difficult because the convoys are getting more and more well defended. And one beautiful aspect of the game actually is that the allies, our enemies, are actually developing. So the escorts of the convoys not only become more numerous, but they have better equipment, more experience, better tactics, new ships, and all this is beautifully put into this open world where you don't have scripted missions, but you have real encounters with real convoys. You actually have to find them first, then track them down, infiltrate them, and sink merchantmen. And all this is done in a way, being set in, you see here a submarine, which is not just a machine. You don't just control the machine, but you control the crew, and the crew actually controls the submarine. And this gives you quite some immersive feeling. And if you ask me, it's really the most immersive submarine game that I ever played. So let me describe briefly our particular situation. So at one point we detected a convoy or I think we got it reported. Yep, another German submarine did report this convoy going that course, and then we actually did put ourselves in front of their course. Finally were able to detect the convoy, and we nicely infiltrated the convoy at periscope depth and were able to fire 3 torpedoes on 2 tankers each, and we sank them. So we have sunk 2 tankers Well, and if you look at that, obviously there is also a German submarine, another German submarine being sunk. So that's a pity, and now they are chasing us. We went down, and at the moment there is this difficult question. Should we just stay at that depth, check, and maybe go back to the surface, I mean periscope depth, and try to place a few more torpedoes because we are beautifully positioned within the convoy? Or should we just leave it, be happy with having sunk the 2 tankers with an enormous tonnage, and try to sneakily get away? That's the tricky question we have to answer right now. And now, without too much ado, let's get into it. I depaused the game, and now let's check the hydrophone. There are ships around still, and we could venture back to periscope depth. Problem is, I think we fired all the torpedoes and we would have to reload, which would create noise. But let's do that. So Mr. Schneider, would you be so kind and put 1 more torpedo in? Mr. Arles, same for you. Yeah, the crew is on battle stations at the moment. We still have the dive planes electric, but gyro compass is turned off. We are on silent running. And yeah, at the moment, you see our engines are stopped. Let's see if we can do that. If we can sneakily get back to the surface without being detected, and maybe fire a few more eels. Okay, stationary. There is 1 stationary ship pretty close, so this might be an escort which is just lurking for us. But let's take the risk. Let's see if we can get back to the surface. Torpedoes being loaded. I don't think that I can load more than 2 torpedoes at a time. Let's do that carefully. Oxygen level is down to 67, which is a level to start me worrying. Discipline is fine. Battery capacity is still alright with 90%. And yeah, just a bit of water in the bilge, 40 liters, uncritical. Okay, so now if I get close to periscope depth, I think I would put Mr. Grade back to supervising the depth steers. So these two crewmates having manned the depth steers, and Mr. Grade is now giving them some supervision for improved depth keeping. Okay, there is this carrier incoming. There are ships, but they are pretty far away. Let's see what we can do.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
So their course at the moment is something like that.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
At the moment it pretty much looks like they have no idea where I am.
Aktuelle Tiefe 15 Meter.
But
Herr Kapitän,
potential targets seem to be pretty far away. What about that guy? Okay, I sank that guy. That's the stationary noises these guys are passing by. And yeah, it would be nice if I could sink one of these guys, and this is the carrier. And they look like, yes, they might have been chasing that other German submarine there.
wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Convoy? Zu Befehl, Herr Kommandant. Herr Kapitän,
And load.
auf Seerohrtiefe.
So please bring the boat to periscope depth, and Captain,
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
man the periscope.
Wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe und für uns gesteuert.
Okay. So they are passing by pretty far away. What about you, guy? Maybe I could go for that one. That's the carrier. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it would be a nice success to sink a carrier, but on the other hand, it's... Okay, there is escort. There is escort. I wonder if I could go for that guy. Velocity. Well, let's first make sure what type of ship it is. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Is it a C3? No, it's not C3. It's a liberty, isn't it?
Uhr 3 geladen.
Yeah, pretty sure. It's a liberty. Speed 8 knots. It's at 40 degrees. Let's take a look at the map. If it is at 40 degrees, and my estimate should be something like 49. Now, what about the torpedoes? Okay, they look fine. Torpedo tube 1 is electric, 1 is electric, and 2 and 3 is steam powered, which means that they are the ones that can go faster. But at that point, let's give it a save. New game, new stream, new save, W369. Distance at the moment. Give it an estimate. Rough estimate.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren.
Still
Entfernung zum
pretty
Ziel
far
4,
away.
1, 5, 9 Meter.
Let's just hope that the aircraft don't see our silhouette underwater. From a certain angle, you should well be able to spot a submarine at periscope depth when the sea is sufficiently quiet. Well, the wind speed is 8 knots, so the sea is not too rough at the moment. And yeah, there is the carrier with the group, and there is airplanes patrolling. There is definitely airplanes patrolling. Wonder if I can figure out the signal of that guy. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty unreliable. The periscope. Distance reading again. Estimate.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 3, 5, 5, 4 Meter.
Still something like
Lage
40
4,
degrees.
9 links. Gegnerfahrt 8 Knoten.
And they are at a distance of, yeah, they are much further away actually. More something like that. But this is the estimated course that I gave them, and if they are at that distance, would be almost 2 miles, so that would be a realistic position of them being there. The angle on both still seems to be something like 50 degrees. So
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren.
this settings are right.
4, 9 links.
And Mr. Schulz, our bosun, Please man the torpedo calculator. The torpedoes are fairly well maintained. That's fine, that should do. Distance now.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 2, 7,
Yeah, let's just
7,
give it a
6
brief
Meter.
sweep. Oh,
Winkel
that's
5,
not
1
good.
links.
There is military coming in. There is military coming in. So this is gonna be a tough one. Now they are still more than 1 mile away. They are still a bit too far away for a safe hit. But on the other hand, there is that escort closing in. Yeah, the angle on bow increasing, that makes sense, to something like 56 by now. Yeah, the reading makes sense.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 5, 5
So if you have
links.
once put in the correct data, the torpedo calculator tracks the target nicely. And now we are closing in for a firing position. So I think there is no other way than firing a torpedo volley right now. Yeah, all right. Distance. Something like
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 2, 1, 5, 6 Meter.
yeah, this guy is really giving me a headache. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, I have to fire now. I really have to fire.
Rohr 1 bewässern.
What's there? Draw 7, 5. Please.
Los. Rohr 2 bewässern. Rohr 2 bewässern. Los. Rohr 3 bewässern. Rohr 3 bewässert. Los.
And now. Ooh, it's
Kommandant, wir wurden entdeckt. Keine Panik. Konzentriert euch auf eure Aufgaben.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
Auf maximale sichere Tiefe gehen. Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter. Meter.
Der Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg. Wasserbomben, sehr nah.
okay.
Geräusche, direkt über uns. 40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. im Weg. 60 Sekunden.
50 Meter.
30 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
Okay, they're coming in close.
Bis Torpedoeinschlag. 30 Sekunden. Ich brauche Hilfe.
These depth charges were coming in close.
60 Meter.
So, which damages did we get? Torpedo tubes, stern torpedo tubes damaged. But that's alright. Could be worse. We are not making water at the moment.
10 Sekunden bis Einschlag. Treffer. Wasserbomben. Sehr nah. Schwere Schäden.
70 Meter.
Fehlschuss. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Okay, the damage control crews are checking, and let's keep fingers crossed that they don't find anything.
Halbe Fahrt voraus. E-Motoren besetzen. Alle Maschinen stopp. 100 Meter.
Okay. Who is this? Mr. Sommer.
Repariert.
Nice.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
I think none of the torpedoes actually found its target. It was all going a miss, probably. We must have hit him somewhere there if we would have hit him.
115 Meter.
That was a cruiser or a very large destroyer. Luckily he didn't have any hedgehog, obviously.
Hörer. 305 Grad.
Did we hit that guy? He really looks like... Hey, he is actually listing, is he? So I think one of these torpedoes must have hit the guy. Yes, see. It did hit him once, but only once. So might be that he's making it. But on the other hand, one hit should be, we will see. Now we have to keep fingers crossed.
140 Meter. Ja. Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Esting geortet.
145 Meter.
Folgen Sie mir. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich drum.
Yeah, 3 torpedoes fired, 1 hit.
Tauchen auf. 195 Meter.
We are being pinged, yeah, by Aztec. If we are lucky, the guy is going down. And there is that aircraft carrier just passing overhead. Oh no.
160 Meter. Schneller. E-Motoren besetzen. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. 170 Meter.
They are dropping on us. But that's not too close, actually.
Aktuelle Tiefe 180 Meter.
Doing a course change of course by 90 degrees flank speed. When all the depth charts are exploding, they won't detect us anyway.
185 Meter. Alle Maschinen stoppen.
Let's just stop. Yeah, 68 liters of water in the bilges.
190 Meter.
Still not too critical. Let's stop the engines. Let's put the dive planes to manual. That's the last kind of measure that we could take to become even more silent. Engines off. Electric dive planes off. Gyro compass off. And all the crew to silent running. Probably an aircraft carrier just passing by right overhead. Yeah, the guy's going down. The guy is going down. That guy's passing by. Actually, let's just hope that we get that accounted for. While we are down here, maybe we will have to go for that sinking side later. They have passed by. Wow, plenty of warships actually. So let's see that we stay put. This guy's coming in, so they are really gathering their forces. This one has a Hedgehog launcher. On the forecastle. I think this was the guy that was closing in. Yeah, I first thought it might be a cruiser, but I think it's a destroyer, isn't it? this guy is probably closing in right upon us.
Herr Kaloy,
Might be this guy. This guy. Yeah, it's the closest one. But now we are at almost 200 meters depth. We stopped the engines, went to complete silence, and in the recent past, this actually saved us from being detected. Air quality down to 60%. Yeah, but the hull should still take that depth.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Ethnik geortet.
Okay, they ping us.
Kommandant, wir wurden entdeckt.
Das wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben.
That sounds systematical. Oh, guys. That's hedgehogs. That's hedgehogs.
Wasserbomben. Sehr nah.
Aktuelle Tiefe.
Now we have to keep fingers crossed that the hedgehogs are not dropping on us.
Schraubengeräusche. Direkt über uns.
Right above us, so we can turn on the ventilation.
Ventilation einschalten.
So the ventilation makes a hell of a noise, but when they are right above us and dropping,
Blitzpumpe einschalten. 150.
they wouldn't hear us anyway. Let's turn on the pump.
Sehr nah.
Very close, yes. Yeah, the efficiency of the pump is so close to zero down here that the question is whether it makes sense to turn on the pump. See how slow. No, it's not going down at all. It's not going down at all, so we can turn off the pump. I think we can also turn off the ventilation system.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Let's go sneaky again. Maybe at least we might have avoided the hedgehogs.
Alle Maschinen stoppen.
They are dropping a lot. But it's not too close.
Aktuelle Tiefe.
engine stopped. Complete silent running. Oh, so many depth charges. Usually I would say, okay, when they drop a lot of depth charges, they will soon run out of depth charges, but there is so many escorts up there. They have a lot of resources. Let's give it another save. W370. Hey, okay, we got accounted for that other kill. A.B. Hammond sunk. Nice. So, 3 ships sunk, 3 torpedoes fired on each of them. Some people might say that 3 torpedoes overdo it, but particularly for the last kill.
Kommandant, feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Bleibt wachsam, aber keine Panik.
Particularly for the last kill, we fired 3 torpedoes on a distance slightly more than 1 mile, and only 1 did hit, while I'm playing on maximum difficulty level. So this hit ratio is perfectly fine. Fire 3 torpedoes, sink 1 ship. I think my overall hit ratio with these torpedoes is still about something like 60%. Yeah, it is still.
Aktuelle Tiefe 190 Meter.
Yeah, I did turn on the pump and we still had more water coming in than we were able to push out with the pump. At that point of time we were going flank speed, and when you go flank speed at a depth of 200 meters almost, you get a lot of water in via the drive shaft. The gaskets of the drive shaft are not 100% tight, so going flank at these depths will give you a lot of sneaky leakage coming in along the drive shaft gasket.
Kommandant, wir wurden von SD geortet.
Again. At least we were able to improve the air quality a bit, from 60% to 65%. Air quality is usually the most critical issue that you get while being submerged. So all the officers are on battle station. The 2 line officers are actually on command station. Mr. Schneider, Mr. Arles, our 2 mechanics are on damage control, and our second radio man as well. Mr. Hinrich, first radio man, checking the hydrophone, and Mr. Grade, our chief officer, chief engineer, with 2 crewmates controlling the engine, so that at any point in time we could go flank speed in a second. And you see that all the officers except from Mr. Hinrich have 2 crewmates accompanying them. Mr. Hinrich only has one crewmate because there is no second workplace at the hydrophone. In other words, that means that almost the whole off-watch is assigned to the officers, which drains discipline. But we are still on a pretty high level, so we are detected, which drains discipline. Our current depth drains a load of discipline. Too much work from the officers for the off-watch drains discipline, and as long as we are on battle station, we can't prepare food, which drains discipline as well. But at the moment we are still at 100%. And nobody seems to start to be panicking. Current depth 190 meters. So it seems to be a good idea to go that deep. Yeah, there was clearly to be heard the sound of hedgehogs being fired. But luckily they all did miss us. Fingers crossed that it keeps on going like that. Yeah, there is a lot of propeller noise going on up there. Shall we go for the cinematic view once more? Oh, yes. They're passing by on starboard side. Don't know, this guy might be closing in towards me. Always a bit hard to estimate. But I think at the moment, yeah, this guy might become problematic. I don't know how many hedgehog volleys they actually have. So this guy has fired his hedgehog volleys. So from the graphics, I would conclude that they can only fire one volley and can't reload. Maybe. So this guy still seems to have a hedgehog volley left to give me trouble, and this one as well. Loads of hedgehog, yeah, loads of escorts being around still. So I think they would still stick around for a while. Nice graphics, isn't it? Yeah, propellers detected. As long as we don't move, we have, I think, almost zero leakage. Main impact on sneaking leakage is actually, the drive shaft. So whenever you start moving, the faster you go, the more water sneaks in. So please allow me at that point to be AFK for 1 minute. Back again. So, by the way, got me a bottle of beer. So, what am I having here? Lager beer Hell from Munich. Propellers getting louder again, so that pretty much sounds like somebody's closing in on us. But obviously no dropping of depth charts yet. I did not hear any sound of hedgehogs being fired. But there is somebody closing by, passing by pretty straight overhead. Yeah, with these 3 ships that we sank, 2 of them being tankers, I think each of the tanker had something like 14,000 tons. And with that 3rd ship in total, we should be above 30,000 tons by now for this single mission, which is not bad.
Kommandant, feindliche Schiffe machen sich gefechtsbereit.
Das wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben.
Closing in, they're increasing speed again. That might indicate that they are now closing in for the kill, passing by overhead with high speed and dropping. So that would be my expectation. Sound becoming louder and louder. You hear the rounds per minute of the propeller increasing. They should drop any minute. That's my guess. And if they don't, that would be a very good sign that I have no clue where we are exactly. Oxygen air quality level is approaching 60% again. Not yet quite there. Yeah, that's the engine crew. Mr. Grader, the chief engineer, with 2 crewmates ready at the engines to let them go flank any second if necessary. Could briefly slip into the role of the captain. I really love this first-person view. Yeah, here we have 2 crewmates, Mr. Seifert and Mr. Schwartz at depth charge, and Mr. Luther at the helm. Mr. Keller. Oh, that's so eerie, these noises. The creaking of the hull under the pressure of 200 meters of water. Okay, Mr. Arlos is ready here for damage control. Okay. And there is still a few guys off watch. So relax. Just relax, breathe evenly. They have no idea where we are, guys. Don't worry. And the boat is gonna take that depth. Oh, the pump is still running. Guys, that was this noise. Ah, guys, I wasn't aware of that. How much water do we have in the bilge? Yeah, but that confirms that at this depth of 200 meters almost, running the pump just doesn't make any sense. Galley. Hey, I ordered close the bulkheads. Why is this bulkhead open? Yeah, okay, that's the diesel. It's completely quiet, of course, and in the stern compartment, the good electric engines, air compressors, and the stern torpedo tubes. Alright, guys, be ready for anything, any minute, any second. Yeah, this is the petty officer's room. And here we are back in the operations center. Yeah, let's take a little cinematic view again. What's going on up there? A lot of ships passing, but they are passing behind me, not right above me. This guy has fired their hedgehogs. He still has his hedgehogs. He doesn't have any hedgehogs. And what about the other guys? Are they leaving me alone? Is it just these three guys going for me? Ooh, what's this? Okay, that's a bug. Okay, nice. Never had that. Lots of airplanes on the flight deck. Hey, much more than we had. So this seems to change. I really wonder if there is something going on like that. When I last watched the carrier, there were no planes on the flight deck. At least, yeah, only this one there. Okay, on the other hand, there is this bug. One of the planes being left behind. But if you ask me, I don't know. I would be curious if you could actually see planes starting and landing. That looks pretty nice. here we are still hiding. And still the noise on top of us. Hi, Colin. Nice to have you in. Good evening. How are you? So it's Wednesday. We are half through the week. Work-wise. And that's the name of the plane. It's Ferry Falmars. So it looks like they are kind of, bombers. With a crew of, I would guess, 3. Pilot, weapons officer, and 1 guy at a stern gun, something like that. Oh, well, in a plane you wouldn't say stern, but probably more something like tail gun. Propeller's getting louder again. So the arrangement on top of the carriers on the flight deck actually changes. So that's interesting to see. Previously, the flight deck was empty except for just one close to that tower. And now the flight deck is completely crowded, so I would be curious if you could even watch planes starting and landing. Yeah, maybe not, but I mean, the game is so detailed. I wouldn't be totally surprised if they had that in the game. And they are still going for us. Yeah, we have sunk quite some decent amount of tonnage. Let's see what the progress of the campaign gives us. 225,000 tons. So it's just 25,000 tons. Well, just in air brackets. Just 25,000 tons to go to finish this overall mission of Arctic Convoys. Okay, recon aircraft. Yeah, alright. Would that mean that they would not attack you, these carrier-borne aircraft? That would not have been my expectation. I would have expected that when you have aircraft cruising on top of a convoy with an aircraft carrier, that they would actually attack you with depth charges. Let me see. We don't really have some means to just watch the in-game units. This is something that you have much better in other games. I mean, I used to emphasize that I think this is the best U-boat submarine simulation ever, but You don't have a nice kind of way to watch or skip through the possible units. It still has this very nice classical manual, which I like. They really put effort into that. Yeah, the developers are awesome. The developers are awesome. Interesting. So there is a few of these messages. Like for example this one here, decreased performance. Okay, never had that. Pollution, yeah, of course. Arrested. Sick. Okay. But finally I was about to check for. We have a list of enemy units. This is actually missing. Yeah, but look at that, how great the manual actually is. I think nobody would actually read the manual, right? But nevertheless, it's nice to see that they still have this kind of manual. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's a great developers crew. Okay, a pilot and a navigator, yeah. So the Browning machine gun would then just point forward, I would guess. So no tail gun or something. Or did the navigator operate some kind of a tail gun? Yeah, interesting. I watch my own stream on my mobile in parallel, and I see that we do have quite a few seconds of delay in the stream. Delay? Would you pronounce it? Delay or delay? I think the latter, right? It's delay, not delay. Yeah. We are not moving. We are not turning the drive shaft, so we are not taking any more water, obviously. That's at least reassuring. I think it sounds like... yeah, propellers are still close. They're still circling above. But yeah, it's okay. It's still the 3 ships circling, and it looks like the other guys at least have abandoned the hunt onto me. Do we still have that airplane hanging in the middle of nowhere? Yes. At least we could inspect that one. Okay, there is the pilot. And what is this canopy? I mean, look at that. There's a hell lot of glass for the navigator, maybe. Nice. But a bit buggy. Yeah, good to see that the convoy is on its way, leaving me alone. Nice point of view, isn't it? I think that would make a nice thumbnail. They are still zigzagging, aren't they? Yes. They are still alerted. I like this point of view. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. I really like it. Really like the view of that. So I guess that these are kind of airplane elevators, so which could be pushed upwards so that they would finally be part of the runway. Same for here. Nice. Nicely done. And here we are, still being hunted. Yes, yep. So I guess that the size is a bit, yeah, that it's a bit oversized, isn't it? So I guess in reality the catapult would probably not be that large. But, yep. Yeah, they really do it nicely. The whole graphics, I mean the sea, the weather, even the coastlines And yeah, in particular the ships, enemy and friendly, they are really, really beautifully done in this game. Yeah, I am actually a bit surprised that there are... Hey, I just wanted to say that I'm surprised that there are so few people dropping into the stream, and just when I was starting to say it, I see the number of watches going up. So whoever dropped in, rest assured that you're completely anonymous. I just saw the number of watches going up. And it's just great to have you in the stream. Hi guy, whoever you are, and don't hesitate to just lurk, but if you'd like to drop a comment into the chat, that would be warmly welcomed. At the moment, yeah, we are trying to get away from these escorts chasing us. We did sink 2 tankers of that convoy, dived away, and then ventured back to periscope depth and sank 1 more coaster, I think it was. And now we dived away once more, and let's just hope that we get away. Right now the propellers noise is going down. Pretty much sounds like somebody's going very slow up there. And allow me to do one more cinematic view. Yeah, so I guess this illustrious one, what did you write in the comment? The illustrious one is kind of the real military guy, and the other one is put onto the hull of one of these C3, right? That's amazing. And what we see here is that they are retreating. They are giving up. They finally decided that they have to stick to their convoy and stop chasing me. Very nice. Thanks a lot for that. One, 2, 3. Yep. Nice. They're leaving me behind. Thanks for that. So give it one more save, and maybe at that point we could do a bit of time acceleration to make sure that we get some distance between them and us. Air quality below 60%, but now I start to become rather relaxed that I see that they are leaving.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 240. Meter. Schraubengeräusche. Mittlere Gruppe. Peilung 220.
Yeah, they should be pretty far away by now. And I don't have much torpedoes left.
190 Meter.
I still have eyes. are leaving. Nice. So, looks like we get out of this alive.
Aktuelle Tiefe 185 Meter.
Wie laufen
Distance.
die Konvoi?
Yeah, it's going on like that. So their distance towards me now is 5 miles. That's maybe a bit too much. To get back to the surface, they might detect me with their radar. So I'm gonna stay put for a little while.
Tauchen auf.
Let's go for 150 meters. Let's give it another save and allow me to be AFK for 1 minute. Be back in 60 seconds.
Aktuelle Tiefe 180 Meter. ...170 Meter. ...160 Meter. ...150 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 145 Meter.
Alright, guys, here I am back again. Sorry, it was a bit more than a minute being AFK, but yeah, I needed to get a slice of bread for a little late night snack. And I see that a few more guys have dropped into the stream, so welcome. Nice to have you. Yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. To just take a merchantman hull and put a flight deck on top of it.
Tauchen auf 100 Meter.
Yeah, the whole convoy is moving away.
140 Meter.
So at the moment it looks like we're getting away. They are something like 6 miles away by now. So I think we could stepwise go back to the surface, but let's still wait to finally surface, because 6 miles might still well be their radar radius, and they have these, yeah, the carrier, so there might be planes around spotting me. Yeah, that was the point. They had to kind of spawn a lot of these carriers and had to save money.
105 Meter.
As well as resources.
Meter.
Yeah, pretty amazing details about World War II and how logistics actually worked back then. And working with limited resources.
Aktuelle Tiefe 60 Meter.
Yeah, let's get away from the convoy. So we are so close to our home port. That was pretty good luck that we ran into that convoy right away. Yeah, we had finished our mission, our patrol mission already, after having sunk the first tanker. But yeah, it's never wrong to get a bit more tonnage than expected. Alright, guys, you can step away from
Alarm beenden.
battle stations. Stop direct orders.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy. Es ist
Can
nicht mehr
open the
erforderlich,
bulkhead, and I think we can stop the silent running. Yes. Yeah, okay. So that gives a ratio. Like 4 to 45, yeah.
Kreiselkompass einschalten.
Yeah, let's turn on the gyro compass again and switch the dive planes back to electric. Yeah, sorry for the munching noise.
Schraubengeräusche. Mittlere Gruppe.
I just had to have a little late night snack. Got me a slice of bread with some cheese.
Peilung 160 Grad.
Yeah,
Schraubengeräusch.
seeing a few more guys in the stream, that's just great. I don't know who you are, just see the numbers, don't see any names, so that's perfectly fine if you just lurk silently, anonymously. Fine. Just having a few people watching is already quite reassuring for a streamer, but of course, if you would like to give some feedback in the chat, give a hi or tell me what your relation to the game is. Do you play it by yourself? Do you just watch streams? What do you think about the game? What do you think about the stream? Well, just anything. Where you're from. But don't feel pushed. Perfectly fine if you just silently lurk.
Tauchen auf 20 Meter.
Ja.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
45 meters, going up to 20 meters.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 135 Grad.
25 Meter.
Herr Kaloy? Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, moving away.
20 Meter.
Yeah, being something like 7 miles away.
Schraubengeräusche. Kleine Gruppe. Peilung 110 Grad.
Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
Yeah, let's see how well they can actually keep the depth.
15 Meter.
Are they overshooting if I do it like that? No. Seems to be alright.
10 Meter.
No, please give me periscope depth.
Herr Kaloy, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für uns Blick eingesteuert.
Yeah, we have plenty of reputation. So we won't give them food or save them. Let's just get away.
Anblasen. 5 Meter.
Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung 135 Grad.
Funkmesssignale, so we are actually detecting them. Let's just hope that we are out of range for them to detect us. Did we have any damage? The guns took a bit of damage, obviously.
Aufgetaucht.
So Mr. Schneider is starting to repair, that's good. And what can we say?
Herr Kaloy?
Okay, but the radar contact is pretty far away. Not sure if this is reliable. So please give us a course which brings us back to our recent home port.
Rohr 1 geladen.
Yeah, there might still be planes around. From the carrier. Yeah, we can get some more time acceleration. And there we go. Nighttime.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Bestätige. Ich bin sehr müde. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Kondensstreifen.
Mhm.
Peilung 110
Airplanes.
Grad. Alarm. Flugzeug im Anflug. 135 Grad.
Okay. It must be somewhere over there. Let's give it a save. W371. Now, Mr. Schultz, please man the anti-aircraft. Mr. Grader, please man the engines.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Schneller, schneller. Kurs setzen.
So they seem to be pretty close when they are.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Kurs setzen.
Oh, that's not good. Not good. Not good. I don't like it. They are dropping that charge. Let's see. Okay. Nice. We shot that one down. And the depth charges didn't find their target.
Kurs setzen. Alarm
Hello.
beenden.
By the way, we did not send
Funkraum besetzen.
the report, the cute messages. Now let's send that stuff back home to the headquarters, which would give us quite some reward in terms of budget.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Yeah, but I don't have the proper ammunition actually. I think there is some particular anti-aircraft ammo, isn't it? And if you only have, like me, only have loaded, let me check, let me show you my inventory. So I only have the large caliber high explosive, and I think to fight against planes you would have to load some anti-aircraft explosive shells. Isn't it like that? Or could you actually shoot these kind of conventional high explosive shells against airplanes? I thought there was some special ammunition to fight airplanes, which have some kind of a timer for exploding. Never was quite sure how that works. Is it like each round has a timer to explode somewhere in mid-air, or is it about pressure, measuring the height? And here we are, almost through with the cute messages.
Funktelegramm
Yep.
gesendet.
All right. Now give it a save and get ourselves back home.
Ich bin sehr müde. Herr Kapitän? Herr Kaloy, wir befinden uns in flachen Gewässern.
Yes,
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
as to be expected.
Herr Kaloy.
Time of the day, 10 o'clock. And here we are. Okay, amazing. Yeah, but maybe these other players had that special anti-aircraft ammo for the deck gun. Is this possible? Because I'm sure, well, we can check that later when we are back. in port. I think there is 3 types of ammo. There is armor piercing ammo for the deck gun, there is high explosive, and there is particular anti-aircraft ammo, I think, but we can check it.
Herr Kaloin, wir befinden uns in flachen Gewässern.
Yeah, of course, shallow sea again. Yeah, passing close by the coast. And nevertheless, let's go on and close in for port finally. Just fingers crossed that no air raid is gonna go on while we are finally closing in.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
And here we see the beautiful town of Bergen in Norway. Closing in finally.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Okay. Flare. With star shell you mean flare, right? Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm wrong, yeah.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
And here we are, back home. Yeah, let's also give it a manual save, not only the auto save. And let's... Hey, let's first check what we are just discussing.
Was benötigen Sie, Herr Offizier? Sehen Sie sich die Lagerbestände an.
Ammunition, high explosive, armor piercing, SS, flares. Here's this one, this is what I meant. Anti-aircraft ammo is set to detonate after a specific period of time, thus increasing the chances of including a plane in its damage radius. But maybe you could also just do it with the classical high explosive. But they only explode when you hit the plane directly. But might work, yep. So I was thinking about this type of ammo. Alright, got me another glass of water. But let's first check the results of the mission. Edward Strauss got the U-boat front clasp in bronze because it was his 15th war patrol. Alright. Stefan Schulz, just the same. Yeah, just natural because I hired them at the same time. And the captain points towards the next decoration. Sinking Five Forks. Sinking Battle Rock. Sinking Hammond. 3 ships sunk. So that was quite some tonnage. Our sources inform us that the convoy was headed for Liverpool. Total tons of sunk ships was, wow, 36,000 tons. Nice. Shot down an airplane, 2 airplanes. 2 tankers of 14,500 tons each and a Liberty of 7,000, which is also decent. Very nice. Mission accomplished. Cruise experience has increased. So let's see if we could add specialists. No, we can't. The bar has not yet reached the 500 points. So no additional expert to be trained. Yeah, but sooner or later we will get it.
Herr Kapitän?
Mr. Strauss is just before leveling up to the last step. Could he? Not quite sure if he could still level up. I think he should gain one more level. Mr. Schultz, just the same. He should, yeah, he's at level 4. He should definitely get one more skill. So look at one of our very experienced. So yeah, okay, all right. When they are at level 5, they are completely leveled out. So I think Mr. Strauss would not gain anything else. Mr. Grada. Decorations. Yeah, alright. So we did pretty alright in this. Yes, that's massive tonnage. Yep, completely right. The T2 tankers, that was good targets. Now let's re-equip. Briefly check here. Okay, we only have 22 tons of bacon left, but I think that's perfectly fine. So it looks like we wouldn't even have to restock food because we were just so briefly out. That was a short, very short patrol. We still have water in, so somebody please turn on the pump. Did we use anything here? No, but we actually did fire a few torpedoes. So one more save and let's get back to the warehouse. And
Benötigen Sie, Herr Offizier? Sehen Sie sich die Lagerbestände an.
get stuff. Items, that's fine. Torpedoes. 4 torpedo tubes. Okay, let's see. Give me 1 T3. 1 T1 and the storage now. T1. T1. T3 are really getting short in supply, obviously. But we still do have a few of these Soundkönig, sound-seeking torpedoes. Alright, so that's not too bad. And the stern torpedoes, yeah, we didn't fire any, so we still have them.
Sehen Sie sich die Lagerbestände an.
So that's the torpedoes. What about fuel? Yeah, let's refuel ammo. Let's get some high explosives back.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Deck gun, we didn't fire any deck gun round. Food. Let's just get 10 of these. And equipment. Oh yeah, we did use some of the repair parts, replacement parts. And let's check the ventilation system. So let's resupply the ventilation system with potassium absorbers. And what about
Herr
the
Kapitän?
crew?
Herr Kapitän.
Having used
Herr Kapitän?
Herr Kaloin?
Ja?
replacement parts, so
Ich erwarte
obviously
Ihre Befehle.
Ja,
we are almost fine like that.
Was benötigen Sie, Herr Offizier? Sehen Sie sich die Lagerbestände an.
Yeah, let's just top off the potassium absorbers, and here we are. Yeah, we should be fine like that. And U-boat will be off duty for 3 days to get all the stuff on board. Training has been completed. Who was the guy? I can't see. Yeah, let's see if we can level up that guy completely. So, radioman, engineer, and line officer. Yeah, let's do it. 15 days, and he'll gain some more experience. All right. Save the game once more, and now we have to think about the next mission. No, we still have 2 days to get the stuff on board, but now here we are. Let's briefly check if everything is stowed away I like to have it. Okay, we can put that right into the galley. I always like to have one of these inventory slots free. Yeah, the slots are very limited, so I saw that there are mods which would increase the number of slots.
Torpedorohr 2
But
gewartet.
yeah, I could arrange with it. It's just fine. And it kind of reflects that you have this very limited space on a submarine. So I think it's perfectly fine. What about the torpedoes? Yeah. Looks good. And Mr. Schneider is just about doing maintenance on all of these guys. Mr. Ahlers, only Tier 1? No, he shouldn't here. Mr. Ahlers is one of my experienced guys. He's Tier 5. He's completely maxed out in terms of skills. The only 2 guys who are not maxed out in terms of skills is Mr. Schultz and Mr. Strauss. Because I got them in later. Here, Mr. Lamprecht was my long-term bosun, so I gave him a long period shore leave and replaced him by Mr. Schulz, and same for Mr. Schneider, who was my long-term mechanic, first mechanic. I replaced him by Mr. Didn't I? Okay. Mr. Schneider. No, Mr. Schneider is oh, okay, I was completely wrong about that. Now let's see. That's the captain and my bosun, of course. Yep. Yeah, right. So here it is, Mr. Trummer. Mr. Trummer was my long-term bosun, and I did give him shore leave, and same for Mr. Preen. So these two guys are completely maxed out in terms of levels and experience, and I did replace them by Mr. Strauss and Mr. Schulz to give some other officers the opportunity to gain experience. Just in case that in the late game I might have severe casualties also amongst the officers. And then I would like to have senior and seasoned guys back home. Now, we are still on the Arctic Convoys mission set, and we still have to sink 25,000 tons. Let's remove the markings. Yeah, by the markings you see that I'm playing maximum difficulty level with enemies not being automatically marked on the map, but I have to do all that navigation stuff manually on the map. I pretty much like it. It pretty much adds to immersion from my point of view. And now let's check for next mission. Ah, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, the prisoners. The prisoners. This is this thing that you tend to forget. Here they are. Yeah, thank you very much for that reminder. Let's free the two guys, which gives us a bit of money and a bit of experience. I mean, a reputation. Yeah, thanks. That was a good hint. Now,
Erfolge sind beeindruckend, Herr Kommandant. Dies sind
with
aktuelle Einsatzbefehle vom BDU. Streng geheim.
our leading officer. And yeah, what do we get? Arctic Convoys mission set. Another Arctic Convoys there. Arctic Convoys. So all Arctic Convoys, which is good because this is actually what I want to do. So here we have a very large number of vessels anticipated. Do we have here a small number of vessels anticipated? Very large. Small. So this or that one. So let's choose the closer one with the large number of vessels anticipated. Difficulty level is low, and no any special remarks about conditions like fog or something. Let's go for this one. All right. Now the map.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Let's get there.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
And yeah, let's cast off. Let's bring the boat underway. Okay. Ah, yeah. What is this? Weird effect. Okay. However, let's cast off. Let's go.
Halbe Fahrt vor.
Halbe Fahrt. Go for the next mission. Patrol mission. Yeah, I always loved the underwater view just as well. Yes, yeah, if I could get another couple of T2s, I should. But that's pretty rare. I think this is really the first time ever in the game for me that I did sink 2 tankers in one raid, in one as a convoy raid. And even in one mission having sunk 2. They are relatively rare, the tankers, or at least they are rare, or I don't know, it's just like in the past I never much ran into them, or they didn't run into my sights. Yeah, but let's, like you say, let's stay positive and see maybe we could finish Arctic Convoys on that mission. Yeah, it's just another 25,000 tons, you're right. Could be possible. Yeah, but I would need at least one of these kind of tankers to sink it. If it were just these others, yeah, like you would have to sink 4 of the, yeah, also the larger merchantmen are around 7,000 tons, so you would have to sink 4 of them. And that's already, well, not so easy. Like, I'm playing on high difficulty levels, so doing all this manual aiming leaves so much margin for errors that, like, you see that I usually fire 3 torpedoes onto each ship. And yeah, sometimes people remark that 1 torpedo should be sufficient to sink it, but I always do 1 to the bow, 1 to the center, and 1 to the stern. And so if my calculations are kind of faulty, I still have a good chance that at least the fore and the aft one, or the fore or the aft one, would hit, and then usually most of the time 1 hit actually sinks a merchantman, that's right. So if I fire 3, it's not because I think that I need 3 to sink them, but it's because I think that a few of them are gonna miss. So anyway, I have to get up relatively early tomorrow, so I'm gonna call it a day for now and gonna continue this one definitely tomorrow night. So let's see, maybe we are gonna finish this campaign, not the campaign, this mission set of Arctic Convoys tomorrow night in the next stream. Yeah, Colin, like always, it was a pleasure to have you in. In total, the stream was relatively quiet, but there were always a few people watching, so all of you guys watching in the background, thank you very much for being there, and particularly you, Colin, thank you very much for the nice conversation that we used to have. And see you tomorrow. Bye bye.